The idea behind doing a concert for me is to bring in a kind of excitement to all the musicians, and then of course those who've been listening to my music for the past 8 years. When I started with Roja in '92 and we did this concerts in 2000, is for the audience to see what goes behind the music, to see the musicians live and to see the singers live, how they interact with the main composition and then bring out a new life in them. For me, doing a concert is like a nightmare because I need to prepare so much, and it's not an easy way to produce music for me. Carry on.
The interesting part of doing a musical concert is that there's more interaction and involvement with the live audience. When they hear the singers sing, they hear the various instruments playing.
We did interact with a lot of people, like from North American musicians. They were so thrilled just by the sound of our music. It was so different to them. Yes, they were all great musicians.
People are so used to hearing the sound, the A.R.Rahman sound, which we really wanted to replicate live, which is a tall task actually, considering the fact that we take hours and hours in the studio to perfect a certain sound. And here you have only the fleeting moment to actually capture it all. Right up at the rehearsal stage, we said, let's put together some PA equipment with which we can rehearse, which will almost give us the feel of having to perform on the stage.
In the course of doing all these concerts, we all discovered, all the musicians were studio musicians mostly, and we all discovered that there was a fun element in it and there was an interaction.
What was the most exciting part of doing this concert was designing the lighting. We had this pleasure of going into a particular pattern and a style for every song. There was a format that was known as the WYSIWYG. That's how they pronounced it. It's called "What You See Is What You Get." The idea was to take the mood of every song, synchronize the lighting in terms of the mood or the patterns that we created on every song, in terms of doing it on the computer and in the workshop, and then try and fix this accordingly live on the stage.
The feel, when they, like for instance, you all know Bombay theme. It was totally unplugged sort of a thing. No electronics involved, no nothing. The whole string section was there, the cellos. I mean, strings means violins, violas, cellos and bass. With a oboe, with a French horn, with a live timpani doing, and a finger symbol of Indian origin, then our bamboo flute. All these things put together. When it was performed live, unplugged, it was a marvelous experience.
It's like a film in the sense that you're having music as your base, and you're trying to make a a big show, an entertainment as a concept. Maybe I would look for a concept for the entire show. I don't know. I mean, something which I've not really put my mind to it. But I would think about it. I'd see, what it takes to make a great show. And with Rahman, the advantage is that he's got a body of work which is tremendous. I mean, there's enough choice for you to take up from. So we'll just have to see how best he can do.
It took us about a couple of weeks to really decide what kind of system we would go for, and we finally used the VDOSC system, which is in today's terms the most advanced sound reinforcement system. What it essentially means that it's a step forward than the flown system, which means the beam of sound can be directed at a very particular section of the audience. And if you had halls and arenas which were kind of encircled against the stage, it's not only good enough to beam the sound to the people who are sitting at you straight ahead, but also the sides. So which means that you would have to construct another rig which will replicate what is going to the front side, not let the side sound affect the one that is coming in the center, and also take into account the height or the slope of the stadia in which you're performing, because you would have crowd that would be at ground level and also at multiple tiers. So the VDOS system actually allows you to decide how much of sound you want to beam at what direction, and it's completely variable across the array of speakers. So if the speaker system is actually directed to the closer portion of the audience sitting closer to stage actually are not listening to more volume than the ones who are sitting far behind, because the wattage that is beamed to the ones that are far behind is much more than what's beamed to people within a close range of the speaker system.
Wouldn't have been a success. I think the whole thing, the idea behind a divine grace behind it, and then we had singers like S.P. Balasubramaniam and Kavita Krishnamurthy, Chitra, and then Sadhana Sargam, Hariharan, Shankar Mahadevan, Sukhwinder Singh, and a whole lot of young singers cooperating and almost giving their heart in the whole concert, and all my favorite musicians. And then, of course, Rapo Global and Deepak Gatani and this crew working very hard for almost 4 or 5 months to do this concert. And the main encouragement came from the audience, who were so receptive to all the songs.
Come on, everybody!
We started off with, should we title the concert like every other concert is titled, give it a particular name which is a thematic name, etc. Again, the conclusion came out that no, it should be purely just what we're really going to show the people, that is a musical. So just let them feel, and it was, we finally decided on A.R. Rahman live in concert.